Welcome to the Trust Factor Radio, bringing you interviews and insights to unlock the power of the subconscious mind to create authority, credibility, and trust. With your host, the Authority Architect and best-selling author, Neil Howe.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is your host, Neil Howe, and today my special guest is Nyk Zukowski. He is the Director of Optimizations with Lingows at lingows.com, based in Denver, Colorado, and he's going to share with us all his information about SEO and what it takes to rank online in 2018. Welcome to the show, Nyk Zukowski.
Thanks, Neil. How's it going?
I'm doing very well, thanks. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, your background, Nyk, and Lingows as well.
Great, sure. So my whole digital journey, I guess you could call it, started back in about 2001 or so when I was using Internet Explorer trying to look at something on some website, and the text was too small. And so I went up to the view menu, and instead of going to increase the text size, I accidentally clicked on view source. And it was a whole new world to me because I saw, how the HTML was laid out, and the title of the page was actually what was showing up at the, in the title of the page. And so it really hit home with me that that's what was making it. And so over the next few years, I got really into web development. I'm 100% self-taught with web development, SEO, all of it. And I got into coding on accident, by discovering the source there. And so I became a full stack web developer over the next couple of years. I taught myself Apache, PHP, how to use MySQL, all the way up. So I built websites for people for a long time. Well, back when Flash was really popular, I began to, develop sites in Flash. Well, one of the problems with Flash is that it's not crawlable by search engines. All of the content was contained within the SWF file. And so what I started doing was I started being able to optimize these sites by creating a backend through PHP in a CMS and being able to output the actual text onto the page underneath in the source code. And so search engines were able to start crawling these Flash websites. And so that was kind of the start of me getting into SEO. And then when Flash started going out, I kind of had to up my game a little bit, and I got really, really into modern optimization with HTML, JavaScript, PHP, some of the stuff that's more popular now than Flash used to be. And I started working with clients in about 2010 or so, and it was just a crazy journey back then. SEO was kind of a wild ride. It was kind of just out in the wild with keyword stuffing and thousands and thousands of backlinks to your site would outrank the next guy if they only had a couple thousand. And it was, pretty wild. And then as Google started releasing Panda and Penguin, back in, 2011, 2012, it really changed the entire game. So after building Flash sites and seeing that I could actually rank them, I became very interested in what was making this work, because I would try something here, I would change something there. My rankings would either go up or they'd go down. I would pretty much trial and error a lot of the different things that I could, think of to try. Well, I started doing a lot of independent research in A/B testing, and I kind of developed my own sort of playground where I would just try anything under the sun that I could, putting keywords here, developing a link there, all of this stuff. And what I realized by searching Google all the time and really studying SEO was that there, especially in the post Panda and post Penguin era, is that Google has always wanted to provide people with the highest quality, most relevant results in the quickest way to help them find what they're looking for. And so I started to shift my perspective from how can I essentially game these algorithms, how can I crank out 1,000 links here and outrank. And I started looking at it more from a human first perspective. So what Penguin did was, as you know, it changed Google's algorithm and how they process links, backlinks. And so back in the day, let's say I was an attorney, if I had 10,000 links to my website and another attorney in my area had 8,000, I would outrank them just on quantity alone. And so over, as Penguin has really tightened down, it's become more of rather than a quantity over quality, it's become a quality over quantity game. And so what I realized was that by having high quality, relevant websites, and I only had maybe 5 of them, I would still outrank a site that has hundreds of off-topic links. And so it kind of got the ball rolling with seeing how Google was trying to, be a people first, or provide people first results. And so now in my strategies, rather than, doing keyword stuffing and content spinning and all of the black hat stuff, if you can write quality content for an audience that's actually going to read it, who actually care about it, who are going to share it, then that's the name of the game. If you can structure your website in a way that's not just stuffed with keywords and not trying to essentially game the system, but you have very clearly laid out information on your site that's relevant to what people are searching for, this seems to be, to me, the direction that Google has been going in for a really long time. So now you get into modern SEO, and there's a lot of chatter around the industry of, well, what works this year and what works, now, and what doesn't work anymore. And I think those questions are really valid. I really do, because, as an SEO, you want to, if you get a client site, you want to, strategize, like, what am I going to do here? How am I going to take this client's site to, new heights and actually get the results that they want? Well, looking at it from a human perspective, it makes it a lot easier, because it's no longer, well, what's changing with Google? What's this? What can I do this year to kind of get a leg up on it? It's more, if I stick to the tactics of providing human first quality results to people in the links that I build, in the content that I put on my own site, in the social media outreach that I do, that Google's always going to reward that. Google will never, ever devalue high quality, relevant links to a website, and it'll never devalue high quality, relevant content on your own website. And so to me, the whole name of the game has been shifting my focus from thinking about search engine optimization as a sort of game of chess, and more thinking about it in a human first philosophy, where I'm trying to provide actual value to the people searching behind the search, and not just trying to manipulate a search engine to, outrank my competition.
Yeah, it's definitely become more user experience first is what Google is looking for. Like you said, back in 2010 when you got started, you could throw up thousands and thousands of links, and so many people got in trouble. So many SEOs that is all they knew, left the business, and because of those algorithms, they didn't know how to fix people's websites, and there became a trust issue, I think, within the industry, that people didn't necessarily trust what SEO does. Yep. But thankfully, we've come a long way since then. It's been a long time, especially in the internet marketing world. Yep. And you're right, it is all relevant, and Google is not going to penalize those really good links, and that's where we're definitely concentrating now. Talk to me a little bit more about what Lingows does, Nyk.
Sure. And just to touch on your point real quick, Neil, you're right. SEO kind of became a 4-letter word, back in the day. I remember when you couldn't even really use the word SEO, because companies, it just had such a negative connotation with it. But yeah, like you said, luckily we're turning around with that. Thankfully, because now for modern SEOs, it's not just simple as pushing a button, spamming links. I mean, there's actually strategy to it. It takes real human attention. It takes time. It keeps people like you and I in a job, and it actually works. It does long term for my clients. They're really happy. Some of my clients I've had for years, and it's just year over year is all really good. So I put out an ad on Craigslist recently because we had a client open up. See, some of our clients, let me back up here just a little bit. The way we look at our client relationships is as a long-term partnership. I treat my clients' businesses as if they are my own site, my own business. I take great pride in what I do. It feels really good when I send out reports to people who, are really happy, and, we get kudos on that essentially. Well, we had a client recently who had reached pretty optimal visibility to the point after they'd been with us for just over a year. Their industry is not super, super competitive, but it's competitive enough that it took a year to get there. But they ended up taking back their budget actually by about half of what they were doing, because they were satisfied with the results, not because they didn't have, or didn't want to continue with us or anything like that. And so we had a little bit of bandwidth open up in how much client work we can take on. And we've kind of restructured some things on my wife and I's end. And we're able to take on quite a bit new work now. And so we wanted to put out an ad on Craigslist, just, with some of the screenshots of Google Analytics, screenshots of ranking reports, just to kind of, show that we can put our money where our mouth is. And Matt got a hold of us one night. I was actually out of town meeting with a client up in Keystone, Colorado out here. And he sent me an email at night and said, "Hey, I'm really interested. Could you please give me a call back as soon as you can?" And so we set up a call. And as soon as we got on the call, Matt and I really clicked. We're both super nerds. We've both been in the game a long time, and we really hit it off, which is good. It goes back to that human first philosophy. I don't want to work with anybody that I don't get along with on a personal level. So he and I really kicked it off. We met for coffee and we talked shop, and it was kind of like a blessing in disguise that his wife, Emily, couldn't take on all of the SEO work herself because things changed so much, and SEO is a full-time job. You can't just kind of do SEO here and there for it to be effective. And so they were looking for somebody who could, take on some of their client work as well as help them out with their own SEO. And it was just kind of a match made in heaven, really. It fell right into a lot of deep discussions right off the bat of how can we actually, get this thing really going. And he told me that, with a lot of his current clients he's an IT consultant and has a lot of cloud solutions or cloud clients. And so he also offers SEO and web development, but like I said, they can't keep up with all of that work. And so when they met us, it just, it felt really natural. It felt like, hey, we can actually do this. And so we started discussing the possibility of a partnership. And I like being, in touch with my own clients and doing all of that. It's no problem, but he has his own client base already. He's got a ton of clients. And so we decided that the best way to do it would be to white label. And so for each of his clients that he wants to sell SEO to, we would essentially be doing the work and then shipping it back to him. And basically giving the same quality of results as we're getting, but with, the Lingows brand on it. It's a very strong brand. He's been at this game a long time. One of the things that I was excited to talk to him about was the prospect of converting over some of his larger clients, because he works on clients that are all the way from mom and pop shops to international enterprises. He works with them all. The thing is a lot of his current larger clients have been in business a long time. They already have solid SEO campaigns. They're already established with an SEO budget. They're working with bigger companies. So sort of the next couple years, our goal is to take Lingows subsidiary, SEOcialized, as well as Upward Impact, which is our company, and keep that partnership going to where he can start to offer more enterprise level SEO to his larger clients, as well as giving the same quality SEO to the smaller local clients. Mm-hmm. So the way that our structure works is really nice because we work on an hourly basis, and the reason we do this is because anybody who knows SEO, even intermediately, knows there's so many moving parts. You have backlink audits, you have influencer outreach, you have backlink development, backlink management, all kinds of different on-page things that you have to optimize, all the way from technical SEO to content to internal links, etc. And so the best way that we can come up with a way to do that is by hourly. And so the good thing about that is whether we have a small ice cream shop on the corner, or we have an international manufacturer and distributor, the work is all exactly the same quality. And so we're really happy to be able to pass that quality of work on to Matt's clients and on to Lingows, and to see how they run with it and see how we can make their clients happier. Okay. And Matt is who? Matt is the owner of Lingows. His name is Matt Moore, and his wife is Emily Moore. And he's owned Lingows. Gosh, I think he's been in the game for, I know he's been at it for 20 some years, I think at least. I don't know exactly how long he's been in it, but he's been doing it a long time. All right. Well, let's get to some of the issues that your clients have. What are the major problems that they have, Nyk? So one of the biggest things that clients come to us for is remedial work. So especially, since the algorithms are constantly changing, Panda, Penguin, and now Penguin has just been put on a constant rollout. These things, really affect client sites. So sometimes corresponding with major updates, clients will be, all of a sudden searching for SEO services. And so they'll come to us and say, oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. Last week we were, last week we were getting a lot of traffic. Now this week it's just down. And so a lot of what we do is remedial work from other companies or individuals who have done sort of I'll say it nicely, sort of a less than good job on these sites. So remedial work is one of the biggest challenges we have with cleaning up. Sometimes a client will come to us with 150,000 backlinks and they have never done a disavow process before. And so we'll go through, and my philosophy on disavow is no matter how good modern tools are, it still needs a human eye on it to pick out what's really relevant and really quality or not. So we come through all of those backlinks, make sure we disavow the ones that are potentially harmful now, or that are harmful now, or potentially harmful in the future. So that's a big part of our work is remedial work. And then another huge part of it is these big companies have learned about SEO. And they have a marketing team and they have, somebody maybe doing their social media. But as far as their SEO, they're completely in the dark and they're curious about it. And so we'll unfold it and, get to talking to them about it. And they're like, well, we have this competitor, and this competitor. And we would like to, be able to catch up to them or, whatever goals they set by a certain amount of time or whatever. And one of the biggest challenges is being able to adapt to their industry. Right off the bat, I would say, because we get clients in all kinds of different industries, all across the board. The good thing about services is that we have the same sort of strategies. It just takes a minute to apply it to, the specific industry that they're in. But a lot of them just come to us because they want more exposure. They see, hey, we rank on Google, but we're number 22. I don't think we're getting a whole lot of business from that. Can you help us? Or, hey, we get people on our site, but in Google Analytics, it shows that they're just dropping off right here. And so we can help them with conversion rate optimization. So basically just whatever they need that fits into a sort of, well-rounded holistic view of search visibility optimization.
Yeah, I think those are the two problems. People call it traffic and conversion, but really it's to first be seen and second to be understood. So your website does have to really dictate exactly what it is that you do. I think a lot of companies have problems with just relaying that message on their website so that it's clear for those people that actually land on the sites. Do you do a lot of website work for people as well?
We do. I like how you said that, Neil. You said they have to be found, but then be understood. And I firsthand, I've seen so many websites out there that are absolutely useless. For example, like, for a crude example, if I want to, find out what a certain restaurant has on their menu and I need to contact them, and for some reason they haven't set up Google My Business, I get on their website, they don't have a phone number, or they don't have hours, or they don't have their menu, or something like that. So we take cases where they have a website and it's, definitely in need of a revamp. And so sometimes the website development that we do is, very surface level. It's, changing around a few headers. It's, putting a slider on there, doing some blogging for them or something like that. But sometimes it gets a little bit more technical, like they need a complete server overhaul, or we need to get into their database and remove a bunch of things, tidy it up. Sometimes we'll discover when we're doing a link audit that they have, a bunch of links pointing to a 404 page that doesn't exist anymore. And so we'll, come up with redirect maps for them, which is all on the development side. And then I also develop websites just from the ground up. Like I'm working with a fairly large e-commerce client right now that we've been working with for a couple months, and they have a pre-existing site. It's just it's performing okay, but back there in March, they got hit with, I'm sure you know about those update changes that happened in March. Right. Those kind of hit them pretty hard, and so they've wanted to get the ball rolling on their SEO as well. But the way I told them, I look at it is, if I'm building a website for you from the ground up, then it's a measure twice, cut once sort of thing, where I make sure the site is optimized as I'm developing it, so I don't have to go back in and change or go back in and re-optimize it per se. So those skills kind of work, really hand in hand. with each other to be able to create the website and then, have it function and then put all of the content on it. My wife is named Samantha Salter, and she's actually the director of content marketing for us. So she takes care of all of the content development, all of the outreach to, all of these sites, all of the correspondence with, potential link partners or potential sites that we can get publications on, and takes care of all of that, as well as all of the on-page blogs that we write and on-page content for our clients. So her and I are kind of able to tag team it all the way from the server up and all the content.
Excellent. Now, you said before some sites don't even have a phone number. I think the phone number is extremely important for the searchers nowadays, especially mobile searchers searching in the local community. Talk to me about Google Maps and how important that is for a local business.
Oh yeah, when you get into these tools that Google has provided, like Google Maps, Google My Business, especially how it sets it up in there. It's absolutely crucial. We have a lot of clients that come to us who are like, we don't want to really rank nationally for our products. We just want to rank locally for this, and this, and they couldn't care less about organic results. They just want to be in the pack. And so we tell them, NAP consistency is really important. So one of the first things that we do when we're kind of going through an audit is, did you ever have any other business names? Did you ever have a different phone number? Those sorts of things to get all of that cleaned up. But as far as Google getting smarter and smarter with, I believe it's Hummingbird, where you could say, hey, I'm hungry for pizza. Where's a pizza at near me? And Google will know where you're at and take you to the nearest place where you can get a pie. So it's extremely important. I know just about, I don't know anybody who doesn't know what Google it means. Everybody, it's a household term. Every single person out there knows what Google it means. And so, if you're looking for something in local that you have to go find, or that, hey, I need to go drop this book off to this person that bought it on Craigslist, I don't know where they're at. You can search for all kinds of things that you need to find locally. It's very important for businesses to put their name on the map in a literal sense.
Yes, definitely. And I think, Google obviously wants people to stay on Google for as long as possible. And with Google My Business now, that many people who are searching aren't even going to the customer's websites. Yes, the website has to be ranked in order to show up in the map pack, but people are generally just looking for the phone number or directions, right?
Yep. Yeah, in a lot of cases they are. Especially clients that are just mom and pop shops that are going local. You don't need to, of course, like you say, Google wants you to stay there within the SERP or within their tools rather than going on the actual site. And if you do it right, that's just fine. If you're doing it right and you get the information to the searchers who are searching for it in the quickest way possible, and if you answer their questions, essentially. So like if you answer the question they're searching for, like a local pizza joint or something like that, the question they're most likely going to want is, what are your hours? What's your phone number? Where are you at? And maybe a menu. Now, Google's gotten really good at even providing things like menus. If you search for certain food, sushi or something like that, you could find menus in the search too, or a link to all menus or whatever. You still don't even have to have that on your own site. Now, some of these things obviously can only be answered by going to the site. Like if for some reason you're interested in who started Barigio's Pizza or something, obviously that's not going to be in Google. But the most pertinent information that people are searching for is getting better, or Google's getting better and better at making sure that that's forefront as soon as you search for it. And I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. Nyk, what are some of the misconceptions that people think about when they're thinking about SEO right now?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the biggest one for us is how long campaigns need to be in order to be successful. I always tell my clients, this isn't 2003 anymore. The things that used to work that were shady and black hat don't work anymore. So if you're serious about your SEO campaign and you're serious about the future of your online visibility, it's a long-term investment. It's not some just fly by night, pay us $100 and then overnight you rank sort of thing. Some of the most successful clients that we've had for almost 4 years now, I think is the oldest one that we have at this point. that's still with us. And so one of the things that I think is really important to stress for all SEOs when they're selling their services is to really get across the point that this is not going to be overnight. It's a long-term goal. It's a long-term partnership, but it does pay off in the long run. Like SEO can be a huge, huge ROI and a very intelligent move for your marketing if you do it right. So I think one of the misconceptions is that it's just easy and that it just takes overnight. Some of our clients, I mean, if we're doing industry research and we're producing a piece of content for them, I mean, that can take from the beginning of the conception and all of the research and the writing publication can take, 8-10 hours. In some cases, we believe in providing really high quality content. So you're not going to get a 250 word blog post out of it. You can get an 1100 word, really researched in-depth piece of content. But I'd say that that's probably the biggest misconception that I'm aware of. I think another big misconception, I think, is the sensationalization of tactics. And what I mean by that is like you go onto, SEO Roundtable or Search Engine Land or Search Engine Journal, all of these sites, and everybody's talking about, what tactics are working this year and what tactics are, all of this. And I think that while that chatter is important into the industry, as I said earlier, I think if you just steer your campaigns in a human-centric way and provide the highest quality optimization on the most relevant resources, then that's, you can see the holistic picture there in the direction that Google's going. So rather than focusing so much granularly on tactics, I think that the industry dialogue needs to change more towards a human-focused approach. And it is over the past few years as people are starting to kind of come into this understanding that, it's not just about cranking out algorithm hacks. It's about providing people with, good quality content. So, go ahead.
So for somebody that is thinking about starting an SEO campaign right now that hasn't done any SEO, is there still room for them to rank, knowing that other companies have been doing this for many years?
There's hope for them to rank, absolutely. But I think if you're trying to start an SEO company and you've never done SEO before, I think you're going to get handed to the sharks. I really do. This stuff takes a long time to learn if you want to learn it well and learn it in depth and learn it in a way that's going to be effective. So if somebody's starting an SEO company,
well, I was talking from the point of view of an actual business owner. So if they haven't done any SEO on their website before, but
I got you.
Yeah, they know that they need SEO now. Is the competition too strong from other companies that have been out there for years doing SEO?
I got you. Sorry, I misunderstood that. So yeah, there's a lot of providers out there. Back a couple years ago, I did some sort of testing where I put out an ad on Craigslist, and I had said that I needed SEO services. And I posed basically as a business owner, and I said, I'm really in need of, SEO services. This is what I need. Get back to me with your, I got quotes that were all over the board from $100 a month to $10,000 a month. I got, people say, well, this works, that works, this works. There's tons of people out there who dabble in search engine optimization. There absolutely are. There's tons of people out there, whether it's individuals or companies or what have you. The thing is that the majority, I would say, of these people have a pretty rudimentary understanding of SEO, but I don't think that they have in-depth enough understanding to really compete with some of the people who have been doing it for a really long time. I think one of the most important things you can do as a business owner when you're searching for, somebody to partner with for your SEO, is to ask them to put their money where their mouth is. Really, I mean, if they can't provide you screenshots of Google Analytics or ranking reports that says, hey, in 2003, this is where this client was. In 4 years, at the end of, in 2017, after this amount of time, this is where we got them. And you're looking at the difference between 188,000 views, versus, 67,000. If they can, if a company can't provide you with a sort of case study or, basically proof of what they're doing, I think that that's kind of a red flag. And I've done this too. Like I kind of feel bad because back when I was doing this research, I kind of posed as somebody who wanted SEO, and I reached out to a bunch of companies, And I said, hey, if you were to provide me with SEO services, what would it be? What's it going to cost? Do you have any results and case studies? And so many of these companies dropped off communication and stopped communicating with me when I asked them if they had any experience with, say a national e-commerce enterprise or something like that. So I think from a business owner's point of view, the best thing that you can do is do your due diligence to actually make sure the company knows what they're doing. Because some of these companies that I reached out to, they've got good marketing. You visit their website, they look absolutely professional. They talk the sales talk basically, but then when it's time to walk it, they dead dropped communication. So one of the things that we provide our potential clients right out of the gate is, here's the hard proof. I've got tons of screenshots for you of clients in all kinds of different industries. Some clients that went from like 388 views a month to like 1,200. Some clients that went to like 263,000 a month down to, up from, like 150. Just basically being able to put our money where our mouth is in a wide range of industries, in a wide range of circumstances, where we've had to conduct all sorts of services like link audits and all of that. And we can point directly to, in our Google Analytics, we can point directly to where we submitted the disavow file, what it did, etc. So to kind of round up your question, I'd say the best thing that business owners can do is really do their due diligence, shop around. Don't just jump on the first opportunity that somebody, over the phone says, oh yeah, we can take care of you, because it's important. And the reason it's important is because SEO it's crucial. If you are trying to operate a business in today's modern environment and leveraging the power of the internet, you have to have good SEO. And what I've seen happen is companies kind of getting jaded. They've been through several service providers. They're not happy with it. They come on to us almost like, oh, you better sort of thing. And, and sometimes it's like, hey, we're coming to you after we were with another company for 6 months that didn't do squat, that wasted our time and our money. And they're like, we are serious about SEO, but how do we know you're not just another company like this that's going to take our money and not do anything? So I think it's extremely important, to make sure that it's mutually understood that yes, we can walk the walk or walk the talk. It is a large investment on your end. And, it seems like, gosh, the first couple of months, nothing's happening. But if you can provide them with absolute proof of your results, I think that that's probably the best thing you can do from an SEO point of view to potential business owners. Because at the end of the day, it's really the numbers that matter. At the end of the day, when I send my clients a report, they're not going to care if, hey, I liked this site, or, I got a title change, something like that. They want to see return on their investment. They want to see increases and upticks in their data and analytics.
Exactly. They have to have a lot of trust and, social proof. Like you said, sharing the results is extremely important for them to make that decision. So Nyk, if somebody wants to reach out to you, what is the best way that they can do that?
Sure. So I'm available either through my website or by phone or by email. And then also Lingows, if you're interested in any services from them, like IT, cloud solutions, or anything like that, you can get a hold of them at lingows.com, Langows. My website is nykzukowski.com, nykzukowski.com, Nyk Zukowski. My email address is nykzukowski@gmail.com. And then my phone number is 720-329-6512.
Excellent. Well, there's always a lot going on within the SEO industry. There's changes all the time. It does take somebody that knows what they're doing in order for you to get the results that you're looking for. And you've certainly shown us that you know what's going on in the industry today, Nyk. So Nyk Zukowski, thank you very much for being my guest on the Trust Factor Radio today.
Awesome, Neil. Thank you very much for having me.
And to our listening audience, if you like what you hear, hit that like button and share, and we'll see you next time on the show.
You've been listening to the Trust Factor Radio with Neil Howe. To learn about the resources mentioned in the show and to listen to past episodes, go to thetrustfactorradio.com. To get a copy of the book, The Trust Factor, go to thetrustfactorbook.com. If you are ready to act now and build your authority, credibility, and trust, schedule a consultation with Neil at theauthorityarchitect.com.